sees my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Feel like a dynamite, ready to explore right up in the sky. I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette.
What is up, everyone? Welcome. Doctor and Tin, welcome. Deadline stream. The games are tomorrow. Yes, the games are indeed tomorrow. But as I mentioned last week, I am unfortunately not available tomorrow. So I'm not going to be at home. So I won't have access to my streaming computer. So most likely I'm not going to be able to do a deadline stream tomorrow, which is why we're doing one today. So yeah. That's the main reason. So maybe it's a pre-deadline stream. That's what I should call it. But yeah, this is most likely the deadline stream, unless for some reason I happen to have decent internet connection and I am available. Then I might do a tiny stream tomorrow. But yeah, that would assume and hope that my laptop can actually handle it. But yeah, if we can't do that, then obviously we're doing this today. So first of all, welcome to everyone, to Doctor, to Tin, to Dominic. Dominic says good evening. Given the fact that we United are going to play Aston Villa against Unai Emery. So looking forward to that game. How is everyone doing? FPL Planner is in the chat. I was just recording a Scout the Game Week episode with FPL Planner. So that'll be out probably later tonight or tomorrow morning Australian time. If you're in the UK, it'll probably be out in the evening maybe. After I finish the stream, I'll edit it and I'll send it over to Scout, and then they'll publish it on Spotify. So that'll be out later, probably today, depending on where you are in the world. And Mira, welcome. Thank you for visiting. Mira had a really good podcast, I would say, or FPL late night stream with FPL Nympria today, early morning. So that I did watch it. It was pretty good. So looking forward to seeing that as well. So if you guys haven't checked Mira out, she's on Twitter as well. You guys can go and follow. So yeah, how is everyone doing? How did your game week go? Dominic says 54 points. I had 65 points and I still managed a red arrow. I have no idea how, but yeah, I think because I didn't own Ben White, that was one issue. Foden decided to I wish Foden didn't even play, to be honest, because he decided to play and then Gue his 6-pointer on the bench. So yeah, another red arrow. Although my mini leagues, most of them did get a couple greens. The Football Chatbox mini league, I don't know how you guys are so strong, man. If you guys haven't joined the league, make sure to join. Football Chatbox mini league. League code is down there at the bottom, X269WB. And yeah, overall rank still fell down, unfortunately. But yeah, thank you to everyone who is here. Is this actually moving? Yes, this is moving. G, how are you doing? Got 72. Nice. Well done. Tin said liked. Yes, guys, if you are new, make sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year. And also, let me just play some music in the background because usually we do play some music. So let me get it up for you guys. But yeah, how is everyone's teams looking like? We still obviously we're waiting for some level of press conference news from Pep. But let me ask the question to you all now. If we get news that Haaland isn't starting, let's say we get news that Haaland isn't starting before the deadline, who are you going to captain? Zachariah got 78 points. Nice. Well done. Well done. Who's everyone looking to captain if you think Haaland is out? Actually, I'll probably run a poll on that if needed. I got 63 captain Trippier. Nice. That's well done. And Paxton, how are you going? Last game week, 86 points. Wow. 2 transfers coming game week since that World. Look at that. Legend. So it looks like everyone had really good game weeks. I need to take like feedback from you guys and make moves. So let me just show you guys. First, let me write the poll up. If Haaland is out. So let me just put some captaincy options based off Scout. What is Scout going? They're going KDB, Cancelo, Foden. Okay, let's change it a bit. Let's go. Kane / and all right. Let's try this, right? Okay. I unfortunately I can't give too many options on a poll, but yeah. Ben Dinat said Wilson is good to go. Okay, sweet. That's good news. So we got good news with regards to Wilson, which is really good. Thoughts on Foden? I think Foden, if you have him, you keep him until we get news that he is playing or not playing. That's what I'm going to do. So I've made 2 transfers already. I know I made 2 transfers before the deadline, but way early. I went and I got rid of Zaha. Okay, so he's gone because he's just been disappointing. And I got rid of Mitrovic and I bought in Callum Wilson and Almiron. So I've gone full heavy on the tunes. And right now, armband is on Haaland. The vice captaincy right now is on Wilson for the moment. But if I get news about Foden and Haaland before, then, things could change. But Foden, really good option. I think he's a pretty good option. So if you have him, keep him. If you want to bring him in, probably wait closer to the deadline. Don't wait too close to the deadline because the site might crash again like it did last game week. Just wait just enough to see whether we get some early team news or not. I'm between captaining Trippier or Wilson. Ooh, I would probably go Wilson in that specific case. Looks like Wilson seems to be good. So I would go Wilson in that specific case just because of penalties. And he's just on form. I know Trippier is also a really good shout. But prefer the attacker in most cases. I have activated my free hit for this free hit. Why did you have to activate your free hit? How bad was the squad injured to activate a free hit? I'm ranked 89th in your mini league, thinking of bringing in De Bruyne if Haaland doesn't start. I mean, that's not too bad. I would bring in De Bruyne and captain him. So let's have a look at Dominic's team. Okay, Dominic, this is your team. Was this really needed for free hit? Probably not. I think you could have. Oh, I guess because you don't have your city. But I still think you could have made a few transfers and fixed it. Anyways, this is Dominic's team. I don't know. Now that you are playing free hit, it could change quite a lot. So triple city in terms of KDB captain. If Haaland is out, not a bad option. If Haaland is playing, Haaland and KDB together is also not a bad option. Along with Cancelo maybe. Early deadline stream, surely Foden is out with full 19 Champions League. Shubharan, welcome. How are you doing? Early deadline stream? Yes, because I am most likely not going to be available tomorrow. That is why I'm streaming today. But usually we do stream on the deadline, but chances are I'm not available tomorrow. And because of that, we are doing it today. In terms of Foden, full 90. Yeah, not looking good, isn't it? Because the other thing we have to keep in mind is it's not spoken about, but I'm sure there are cup fixtures midweek. So there are City are playing Chelsea midweek as well. That's another thing we kind of need to consider. Let me just check that. I just need to confirm that actually cup fixtures. Yes. So there's the EFL Cup third round fixtures midweek, which we probably should mention as well. So I know Foden got 90 minutes in the Champions League. I was talking about this with Roy as well on the podcast on, was it Thursday? Yes, yesterday I think. And you guys, if you've seen the podcast, I was discussing this because if you were Pep, right, you've played Foden for 90 minutes there. If you had to choose between Fulham and Chelsea, right? Chelsea midweek, given that Chelsea's fixture is midweek, and then obviously Brentford. Would you want to play Foden for Fulham or would you rest him for Chelsea? That's another question probably to be answered. But if we do get news that Foden is starting, then, I mean, you play him. But yeah, that's the only thing. We had to kind of keep in mind there are cup fixtures as well, midweek, which hasn't been spoken about too much, to be honest. But yeah, there are these cup fixtures happening. Let me go back to my team. Okay, now, while the poll is going on, right now, KDB leading the way, but Foden, Cancelo, and Kane Salah is a pretty good option. Other has literally no one. Interesting. This is where Scout looks like in terms of their votes. Looks like KDB again here, leading the way. Cancelo, Foden, Salah, Wilson, and Kane after that. Interesting. So Wilson's slightly over Kane. I don't mind that, to be honest. But yeah, the City lads are leading the way completely. In terms of expected points, for this game week, actually, let me just get this game week up. Or actually, the next two game weeks. Shall we do that? Really counting on Foden and Haaland starting. Yeah, same. Like, I really need the two of them to start. If the two of them are starting, then I wouldn't have to take a hit. But if they aren't starting, or at least if one of them aren't starting, then I might be forced to take a hit. And the chances are it'll be Foden out for... I was discussing with even Tian, FPL Planner, between... without having to give too much away from the Scout the Game Week episode, we were discussing between Trossard and Marcus Rashford as options. So if you want to listen to that, you'll have to check the Scout the Game Week episode. But yeah, right now, we'll have to just wait and see for team news with regards to that. For expected points, obviously Haaland's still on top. Salah's, I don't know how Salah is second, man. He's not returning the points that I expect him to return. KDB in third, Kane fourth, and obviously Foden there as well. Trossard, I think this probably also settles somewhat of the Trossard versus Rashford question. Bro, how come you are doing the stream a day early? Most likely because I am not available tomorrow. That's why we're doing it early. If I can do an hour tomorrow, I will let you guys know on Twitter, but chances are unlikely because I'm not going to be at home. Third in your league, says Zachariah. Let's have a look. Wait, is this your team? Damn, you're having a really good season. 12k in the world. And still have wildcard. See, this is the thing. If you haven't played your wildcard by now, you're most likely doing really good. Because everyone I know, except unless you wildcarded in Game Week 8, Game Week 9 wildcarders got screwed over. Game Week 13 wildcarders also didn't really do too well. And those who haven't played the wildcard are also doing pretty better than those who have played the wildcard. So, Zachariah has the wildcard. And I mean, I don't even know if you'd want to wildcard this team out. Okay, you might want to wildcard it just because of the fact that then you don't have to take a hit. But you have 2 free transfers as well. So, I don't know. You can even just play the wildcard in Game Week 16 as a free hit at this point. This is such a good team. Ramsdale to Pickford. Okay, that's not too bad. Doherty to Dunk. Andreas to Rashford. And Tony to 4.5 to 5 million forward, or maybe upgrade Nico. That depends on what formation you're going to play for the next 2 game weeks. Who are you putting Tony to? I mean, if you can get Callum Wilson, I don't mind Callum Wilson. Tony to Callum Wilson. And play like a 3-5-2 formation. That's a possibility. I mean, these, to be honest, except for, okay, Ramsdale, you can still probably play Ramsdale. But this backline is probably what I will start this week if I had this backline. The goalkeeper you can probably change if you wanted to Pickford. Then you could probably get an Arsenal defender in Ben White if you wanted to. The midfield, De Bruyne, Martinelli, Almiron, 3 out of that 5 I'd start. 3-5-2, haven't used my wildcard too. How are you guys not? See, I wish I didn't use my wildcard. But yeah, here we are with you guys no wildcard used, and here you guys are. So okay, if you haven't used your wildcard, I mean, this week isn't a bad week to use it, just because given the fact that the big teams are playing each other, so you kind of can avoid those big teams as well if you wanted to avoid them. Like Chelsea are playing Arsenal, Spurs are playing Liverpool. You can probably target elsewhere on the other teams to try and gain some rank, because I think this will be like very close games. I'm expecting a very close game between Chelsea and Arsenal. Spurs versus Liverpool, I have no idea what to expect from both teams. It's come to that stage where you never know what Spurs have depleted attack. Liverpool are, in terms of numbers, attacking numbers are really on top. Like if you guys saw the podcast, they are like in the top 4 for expected goals. Defense though, they are at the bottom 4. So I have no idea what to expect from both teams at this point. Roy on the pod was very hopeful that Salah will get a hat-trick. And I would like to be hopeful as well, but we never know. Chelsea versus Arsenal, your predictions. I think Arsenal will win, but it's a very tight game. So I'll probably go 1-0. 1-0 to Arsenal. That's most... I think it's going to be a very tight game. But I still think Arsenal might edge it. Just because they're the team better. Like in terms of form, they are way better than than Chelsea at the moment. Hoping for Kane Hall this week. Never know. I mean, Liverpool's defense hasn't been the strongest. The only problem is for Kane to haul, he needs to have fellow attackers around him. Unfortunately, they don't have Richarlison, they don't have Son, they don't have Kulusevski. I mean, there is Lucas Moura, but is Lucas Moura going to be enough? I don't know. I think he might get a goal though. I wouldn't put it past Kane to get a goal this week. But yeah, it's very hard to predict, to be honest, what's going to happen. What are people thinking? What do you guys think that's going to happen for this week? This is a pretty good team though. And yeah, I mean, 12k in the world. I need to be taking tips from you, my friend. Okay, so this is the current situation. Salah will remain in the team just because there are, apart from KDB, who I can't really get to, the others are pretty good. I benched Dalot, says Ian. Oh no, Ian, why? I would start a United defender at this moment. Defensively, they're solid. I would start a United defender. Abdul Rahman, 14th in the league, 1 free transfer. What should I do if Haaland does not start? Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look. This is the one, right? What should you do if Haaland doesn't start? You have the option. I don't know if you have... you probably might be able to afford it. You have the option of... Just check and let me know if you can do it. Can you do Haaland to Callum Wilson and Zaha to KDB? If you can do something like that for a hit, I don't mind it, to be honest. But if you get news that Foden's not playing, then even Haaland to Callum Wilson and Foden to KDB also isn't the worst. Wrong team? Okay, wrong team. Oh, here we go. Sorry, wrong one. You guys are tied. Oh, you have Callum Wilson. Look at that. 19 points of Callum Wilson. Oh, only the armband switched the other way around. But still, huge haul. 81 points. Look at that. Insane. What would you do if Haaland is out? I would... Okay, given the state of your team, I wouldn't be against Haaland out to Oh, who would you even bring in as a striker? You could risk Gabriel Jesus, but obviously yellow card, 4 yellow cards, one slight issue with that. You could go Haaland to... How much do you have in the bank? Nothing. To be honest, if we get news that Foden is starting, I don't even mind doing Bowen to Foden at this point. Or Salah oh, you can do Salah to KDB because you have the money. That's also not a bad move. Salah to KDB isn't a bad move as well if you wanted to do, and captain KDB. That's not a bad move. What would the chat do with this team if Haaland was out? What moves would you make with one free transfer? Help me. I think I'm pretty screwed. 91st in the league. Okay, let's have a look at your team. For the chat, let me know what you guys would do. I don't mind Salah to KDB. If Haaland is out, that is. If Haaland is not out, I still don't mind. If Foden is starting, I wouldn't mind a Bowen to Foden. I don't know if they're the same value. Maybe a Zaha to someone else also is not a bad shout. Just because those guys aren't performing. Okay, let's have a look at Ian. Alvarez? Ooh, yes, that's a good shout. I keep forgetting about Alvarez as an option. That's a pretty good shout if Haaland is not starting. Alvarez isn't a bad shout. But have to start Mitro though? True, you have to start Mitro. I mean, it isn't the worst player to start, right? At this point, I would start Mitrovic over Zaha. Just because how bad Zaha is performing in terms of numbers. This is Ian's team. Ian, you basically need to get rid of Tony. You probably need to start Dalot over Gomez. I completely forgot that you had Dalot. I would have probably recommended to start him over Gomez. So I'd start Dalot over Gomez. The rest of your team is fine. Who is Justin playing? Everton. I wouldn't mind giving Justin a go over Andreas if needed be. And Tony to Wilson, obviously. If you wanted to take a hit, do you have the money? No. Yeah, I think the rest is fine. Tony to Wilson and hope that Haaland starts. Don't captain Kane. He always blanks when he has my captaincy. Are you going to captain him then? Means Trossard, maybe keep Bowen. Yes, good shot. I keep forgetting that. So Trossard is a good option. For Abdurrahman. Where is he? 14. You could go Trossard. For Zaha. So Zaha to Trossard. That's a straight move. You could do that if Haaland is starting as well. That's one thing. Yeah, Zaha to Trossard is a pretty good move. And just hope that Haaland starts. Mitro could nick in a goal. Yeah, I don't mind keeping Mitro. I would keep Mitro over Zaha at this point. Who are Wolves playing against? Wolves are playing Brighton. So Trossard. Can you analyze my team? 22nd in the league. Yes, we can. What happened to Wilson? What is this news? Oh, yeah. But apparently Callum Wilson should be fine. Abdurrahman. Let's have a look at Big Nose Monkey. So many leagues. I'm assuming this is the one. Another solid team. Oh, Tyreek Mitchell 11-pointer. No. Oh no. Unfortunate. What moves would I make for this? Probably will be only Zaha. Zaha to Trossard or Rashford. One of the two. The rest is just solid. Eric Dyer. To be honest, I would probably start. Oh, I wouldn't mind starting Dyer. You never know. Could nick a goal. A long range distance goal or even a set piece goal. You never know. I don't have cash for Wilson. You don't have cash for Wilson. Okay, let's have a look again. If you don't have cash for Wilson, so Haaland will come in there. Dalot will go instead of Gomez. So it's only Andres that you need to worry about. You could... Who else can you get if you can't get for Wilson? For 2 game weeks. To be honest, none of Alvarez is your best shout. But that's only if Haaland isn't starting. Apart from that, we don't know if Skamaka will actually play enough minutes. Antonio has looked a bit more decent on the pitch while he's been on the pitch. But there aren't too many options if you can't afford. I don't mind Solanke, to be honest, as well. If you can't. But to be honest, would you even do that move? Like, would you start Solanke? Solanke against Justin. Who would you start? Maybe Solanke. Not a bad shout. Against Leeds. Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst shout. 100% Zaha Trossard. Trossard is on form. Yeah. For this team, guys, if you can't get to Wilson, would you move Tony out for someone? Or would you just... let's assume Haaland is out as well. Would you move... If Haaland is out, then Haaland to Callum Wilson, and then... Can you upgrade? No, you probably can't. You could probably upgrade Andres to Trossard if you wanted to. What's the Saka injury news? He should be good. Saka played in the Europa League. So he's completely fine. Yeah, Saka is fine. Came off the bench. Yep. He played in the Europa League as well. So he's completely fine. If you have him, play him. This was Big Nose Monkey. I think we saw this team as well. Zaha Trossard over here. The rest of the team is pretty solid. I'm very jealous of this front three. If this front three starts, Kane is also a pretty good shout. Thoughts on Firmino? To be honest, I not too... Like, I prefer Darwin Núñez as an option slightly compared to Firmino at this point. I mean, Mira should be able to give a bit more insight into that with regards to Liverpool. But Firmino, I probably wouldn't go there, to be honest. Salah to KDB, that's not a bad move if you can get a third City player. Rishabh, that's also not a bad move. Although, I will say, I wouldn't put it past Liverpool and Salah to get a goal against Spurs. And obviously, final game against Southampton, pretty good fixture. So, keeping Salah is also not a bad shout. But it's just that KDB at this moment would be slightly better. But keeping Salah is also not a bad option. So if only they could convert the UCL form into the Premier League, that would be ideal. Should I start Mitchell though? I don't want to miss out on another 11-pointer. Well, he's not going to get you another 11-pointer against West Ham. Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely that he gets another 11-pointer. But you could... Guys, this is Big Nose Monkey, right? I would probably start Eric Dyer over Mitchell at this moment. Just because you never know. Eric Dyer is capable of, hitting one of those long-range shots. You never know what he could return. At this moment, I think Mitchell and Dyer might return the same points for you. In terms of a flow level. They could both return the same points. In terms of a ceiling, Dyer has a bit more of a higher ceiling than a Tyreek Mitchell. I know Tyreek Mitchell got 11 points, but that's not going to happen always. And also, Crystal Palace are now going away. That's another thing we kind of need to consider. While Spurs are playing at home. Darwin is a good shot. He's getting in all the right positions, but not clinical in the finish. Yeah, true. If Foden is not starting, is Foden and Salah to KDB, Rashford, Saka, Trossard worth a -4? Yes, that's completely worth a -4 because you'll be most likely captain in KDB. Unless you have Haaland and Haaland starting, then even then a double up of Haaland and KDB is also pretty solid. To check my team, I'm 98 and I have 2 free transfers, planning to put Kane in for Tony and Trossard in for Zaha. Who do you think I should vice captain if Haaland doesn't play? Let's have a look. So Kane in for Tony and Trossard in for Zaha. Yes, and vice captain if Haaland doesn't play. If Haaland doesn't play and Foden is playing, then Foden vice captaincy isn't too bad. If both Haaland and Foden aren't playing, then we have a problem, including myself. I have a major problem. Then the armband. The armband on Kane wouldn't be a bad shout, to be honest. Or even Trippier as a punt wouldn't be a bad shout. Or Almiron. But then that we need to know whether both Haaland and Foden are out. I kind of hope that Haaland will start. He's been pictured in like training and all, so I'm hoping that he'll be fit, but we'll see. Wait, should I just replace Andres and keep Tony? Who can he replace? Do you have the money to replace Andres to a Trossard, Ian? If that's possible, then yeah. Is something wrong with Wilson? No, Wilson should be fine. There was that podcast he did, but then we've got apparently news that he should be alright. Actually, let me check and see. Eddie Howe should have had a press conference, to be honest. What's the time in the UK right now? Yeah, it's way past Eddie Howe's press conference. So Eddie Howe would have done a press conference by now. Let me have a look and see if we can find it. There we go. Eddie Howe, we have a few bumps and bruises as we always do, man. Nothing too bad. Okay. So nothing too bad. Newcastle should be fine. Wilson should be fine. Yeah. We should be fine. Nothing too major reported by Eddie Howe. So Wilson should be completely fine. Let me bring that up for you guys if you wanted to follow team news. Here we go. So nothing too major. Alright. Any final other few questions? We won't go on for too long just because it's not actually the deadline stream. Saka versus Trossard versus Rashford for the next two -4. Saka versus Trossard versus Rashford for the next two for a -4. Probably Trossard over those two, I would think. Just because of the fixtures. Brighton play Wolves and they play Villa. And they're the only team out of the two to also have a home fixture. While the other two both have away fixtures in both games. So slightly maybe Trossard, but it's a very close one on that. Solanke in for Tony and Andres in for Almiron. That's something you can do. Yeah, I don't mind that, Ian. That's not a bad set of moves, to be honest. For -4. Could pay off. To be honest, you never know. I mean, Solanke against Leeds, not the worst shout. And then Bournemouth after that, they've got Everton. Never know, something could happen there as well. Almiron, on the other hand, I think pretty good shout. Newcastle are doing pretty well. Double up on Newcastle? You mean double up on attack? Yeah, I don't mind that. I've already gone there. They're one of the most informed teams right now in the Premier League. With the injury crisis at striker, Rashford might play up front. Yes, See, now that's a possibility, but at the same time, see, this is the thing, right? This all depends on Ronaldo and how much rest he needs. Does Ronaldo need? He probably needs rest, but will he be benched for the upcoming game? I think he might want to play. So I don't know. It's a tough one. No Bruno Fernandes as well. Keep that in mind. So no Bruno Fernandes. Anthony and Sancho also not looking likely at the moment. Martial out injured. So your attack for United for this week is basically you got Rashford, you got Ronaldo, and then you have between Elanga and Garnacho. So I don't know. It's a very bleak attack at the moment. I mean, we had to play Harry Maguire at striker in the Europa League. That's how bleak it's looking like right now in terms of attack. That's a slight issue. I think Rashford will still play. Whether he'll play striker, I don't know. We'll have to see. Ten Hag doesn't like Ronaldo though. No Bruno, Sancho, Anthony means no creativity. That's true. Which is why it might be a slight of... It's like... I don't know if there'll be too many goals. There was another thing that was mentioned, right? This was mentioned by... I was listening to the FPL Sidenet podcast today. And Pete brought it up with regards to... He mentioned that Brett, FPL Shake and Bake on Twitter, did an article where they looked at new managers. And the most likely case was that a new manager bounce meant that teams improved in defense. Oh, that was the first thing they looked to improve on, the defense. So Unai Emery could try and keep it tight for the Aston Villa game. Which kind of like makes Trossard, now that I'm thinking about it, makes Trossard a bit more of a better punt. Is Almiron versus Newcastle worth 4 points more than Martinelli versus Chelsea? Wait, no, I'm not versus Almiron versus Southampton. Worth 4 points more than Martinelli versus Chelsea. That's a tough one. Given the form he's in, you probably would want to say yes. That Almiron is... I mean, look at this. Just because of the form he's in, you would assume he would be able to do it. But for 4 points... Yeah, maybe. You never know. I mean, you got 2 game weeks left to try something. The question is, who are you taking out? You're taking Andreas out, right? You're not taking Martinelli out. Even if Emery wants to buff up defense, Villa defenders have a mistake in them, especially Mings and Cash. Fair enough. Also, they'll be without Martinez, right? I don't think Martinez is fit, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll have to play their second choice goalkeeper. So that's something also to probably consider. No, Martinez is a catastrophe. Fair enough. Will we get City team news? Today we should have press conference news later. Look at Pep Guardiola smiling at us because he knows we all want Haaland news and he's not going to give it. We should get City team news. This is 12:30 p.m. UK. So I won't be up on a stream for that by that time. But we should get some news. Whether it'll be the news we want, I highly doubt it. But then tomorrow, because City are the early kickoff time, right? We can kind of hope for some league team news. So if you guys want to see some league team news, I mean, Just make sure to follow me on Twitter, and I'll be tweeting about it if I'm not doing a stream tomorrow. I'll do the Almiron move if one of Foden or Haaland doesn't start. Fair enough. Yeah, you could do that. So yeah, we might get some league team news. I'll be also monitoring Twitter to see if I can find anything. But yeah, we'll see. We never know. Cool. We're reaching the hour mark. Other Dalot is surely due a 10-pointer, such a bonus bagger and has a goal in him. If you have Dalot, start him. This is something again I discussed with FPL Planner on Scout Gameweek. If you don't have Dalot, you probably don't need to transfer him. If you have him though, start him. I would start him definitely. United have looked defensively solid. I was a bit worried that United won't be able to cope without Varane, but they've looked pretty decent. So I would still probably start him. So don't worry about that. Post World Cup though, yeah, I think everyone would want him, even myself included. He'll be one of the first players I get in as soon as the Game Week 16 is done. Plan on using committee posts for team selection and late news. Plan on using community posts for team selection and late news. Which community post are we talking about? You mean these ones or these ones? I'm not sure what you... do I bench Mitrovic or Martinelli or Almiron? Don't bench Almiron. You could probably bench Mitrovic. Oh, Mitrovic versus Martinelli versus Almiron. Out of those three, I would probably bench Mitrovic because I think I prefer Martinelli given the goals that Chelsea conceded, and I prefer Almiron given the form Newcastle are in. Okay. Yeah. Wait for late team news. Yeah. Surely Brentford gets a clean sheet against Forest after final night. Rhea has been disappointing me recently. I mean, Brentford are without Tony, and Forest are at home. Forest need a win badly. They very badly need a win. So I won't be surprised if Forest go all out for this game. So wouldn't count on a clean sheet too much, to be honest. But if he gets one, happy days. But yeah, don't count on it too much. All right, so team news wise, we'll just run on one final roundup of what we have in terms of team news. Let me just refresh this. So Newcastle, nothing too serious. Callum Wilson should be fine. Does it change if I already have Saka too? So better to not double up on Arsenal. Does it change if I already have Saka too? So better not. You could look at it that way, but at the same time, if you were to compare all, just ignore the fact that you have Saka. If you had all three of them, who do you, if you were to pick if you were to pick two players to get the most points, given the fixtures, I'll probably put Almiron first, and then it's between Martinelli and Mitrovic. You could what do you call the risk? You could diversify your risk by not starting Martinelli as well. But Mitrovic against City compared to Martinelli against Chelsea, Chelsea are in all sorts of form, different types of form. I don't know how to explain Chelsea and their current situation right now. Meanwhile, Arsenal are one of the best informed teams right now. So I wouldn't back against Arsenal, is what I would say. Okay, press conference. Brighton looks like Danny Welbeck is good after he missed Game Week 14, but not sure whether he'll start or be on the bench, which means chance for Trossard to play striker again. That's another thing to mention. Sinisterra out, Evans to be assessed, Cabana out for months. Brentford, nothing too much of an issue. For same. Leicester assessed on Friday and could return for the injury to face Everton on Saturday. I mean, if you had Justin, if Johnny Evans is back, wouldn't mind starting Johnny Evans. I mean, Justin, to be honest. Sinisterra, we just saw. Nothing else interesting from the rest of the teams. Okay, thanks. No worries, VL. Alright. Final questions before we wrap it up. Any final questions from anyone? If not, this is what my team is looking like, and most likely what it will remain like, unless obviously Haaland and Foden aren't playing. So I'll just give you a couple scenario situations of where I might end up. If Haaland is playing, obviously armband will remain on him. If we get news that Haaland is not playing, right? If we get league team news that Haaland is not playing, and if we get league team news that Haaland not playing and Foden playing, then armband will switch to Foden. If we get league team news that both are not playing, armband will switch to most likely Callum Wilson, and Haaland will be benched, and Foden would be transferred out. But at this moment, I am on a slight toss between Trossard and Rashford. I kind of prefer Trossard, but I want to back my boy as well as one option. Planner says, good luck, mate, and green arrow. Thank you, Planner. So shout out, guys, if you haven't followed Planner, make sure to follow him on Twitter, at FPL Planner. Really good manager as well and knows his stuff. So if you guys want to check him out, that's his Twitter handle. I'll put it here in the comments. Really good manager. Give him a follow. Which Newcastle player you think is the best captain option? I'm going Callum Wilson just because he has penalties. What do you think about Trippier captain? I mean, not the worst shout. If Newcastle keep a clean sheet, the guy gets at least 2 or 3 bonus points. So Trippier is also a very consistent shout. Bit more of a punt compared to Callum Wilson. But still a solid shout, to be honest. Actually, you never know. He could actually be a better captaincy option. But both solid choices. And who do I have as captain? Rhea, Trippier, Justin, Cancelo, Dalot, Saka, or Salah? Thanks for the plug. No worries, no worries. Ian, I would probably vice captain in your specific situation. I don't mind vice captain in Salah. I mean, Cancelo, you could vice captain and it could probably be a safe 6-pointer. Salah, there's an unknown factor around Salah. You never know what could happen. Or if you're bringing in Almiron, then you could have vice captain Almiron. What about Wilson illness? Could it slow him down? He should be fine, apparently. From what we've heard, he should be fine. So don't worry too much about Wilson. I think he should be fine. That is kind of playing on my mind, to be honest, about Wilson's injury, but we'll see. If we get news that both Haaland and Foden are out, then obviously armband will go to him. Vice captaincy will probably go to Salah. But I wouldn't be mind. Like, Trippier is also a pretty decent captaincy option. We'll see. It all depends on what happens with Haaland. It's quite a lot. We need to know what happens with Haaland and what happens with Foden. Those two are my main primary captaincy options right now. Cool. Any final questions before we call it a day? Because I've got to get some other stuff done as well. So if anyone has any final questions, let me know. Also, if you are new, make sure to like, subscribe. By trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of the year. So let's see whether we can do it. And obviously, if there is a World Cup fantasy game, we'll be having content on the World Cup fantasy as well. So make sure to follow and subscribe. Tin says, is that wash hands or is that clap hands? That's wash hands, I think. Hopefully we get early team news. Yeah, hopefully. Tottenham way doesn't look that appealing though. Liverpool didn't win versus Spurs at all last season. Ooh, okay, interesting stat. I didn't know that. Then you could captain Cancelo, or you could bring in Almiron and captain him as well. Wouldn't be a bad shot. Can be both. True, can be both. If we do get early team news, I will tweet it out. So make sure if you guys have Twitter to follow me on Twitter. If possible, I'll try and do a quick 15 minutes before the deadline kind of video if possible. I can't guarantee though that I won't be guaranteeing that to you guys because it'll depend on where I am and the internet connection of where I am at that moment. Keep Kane or Salah. If you can keep both, I would keep both. If you had to keep one because you wanted to get KDB, then I would probably keep Kane and sell Salah for KDB. And also, Daniel, welcome to the Football Chatbox. I hope you've had a great day. All right. Any final questions? Final questions. Chuck it in, and we'll answer. If not, we'll call it a day for today. And good luck to everyone for tomorrow's game week. I will let you all know on Twitter if I can do a tiny video or not, but very unlikely at this stage. But we'll see. You never know. But yeah, if there aren't any further questions, I wish everyone a good game week and hopefully some green arrows. And yeah, 2 more game weeks left, people. 2 more game weeks. All of you guys got this. Enjoy the football. Saka or Martinelli, ask Ian. I would at this moment go for Saka because I still believe Saka has good potential to score. And obviously he should be fine as well. And on penalties as well. So, or at least I still hope he's on penalties. So yeah, Saka for me. Good luck, says Vial. Yep, thank you. Good luck to you as well. All right, we're gonna call it a day. Thank you all for watching. My voice is almost gone. Have a good day, everyone. Enjoy your night. If you're in Australia, good night, everyone. If you're anywhere else in the world, good evening, good night, or even good afternoon. And good luck for tomorrow's game week. And I hope everyone gets a green arrow. And I hope we get some City early team news. Having said all of that, I'll see you all later. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, like, and yeah, peace out, everyone. Oh yeah, I forgot. Before we go, I need to end this poll. Completely forgot about ending the poll. Let me just end the poll. And just give you guys the poll results. So poll results, KDB led the captaincy if Haaland was out. In second, you had Foden/Cancelo. Third, you got Kane and Salah, along with other tied as well for 22 votes. So yeah, that's basically it. Having done the poll as well. See you all.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock. I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step.